Greetings, fellow Space Marines. I'm your host, Mr. LND1, and for the Doom community, this is Alondo1. In this video, I will be showcasing a little sneak preview of the Toby Accessibility Mod version 5.0, but in particular what I will be demonstrating is the accessible menu. Now I'd like to take this moment to give a shout out and a super massive thank you to Proydoha for putting together this accessible menu. Now before we get started, I too would like to give a shout out and thank you to Jarewill, who also has been a great help to this project with all the accessibility features he had programmed, and a big thank you and shout out to IllegallySighted for his feedback, which has helped greatly to shape the overall functionality of the accessibility mod. And of course, can't forget to thank Mr. Toby Ott and Jarewill for inspiring this project in the first place. So without further ado, folks, let's just jump right into it, and here is the accessible menu. So, I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard here.
Main menu.
And when you hear that, that means the menu is on screen. Then of course, when you hit escape again,
Back menu dismissed.
you'll hear menu dismissed, which means that you're back in the game. So, let's go back in the menu.
Main menu.
Alright, so in case if you're not sure what option the cursor is over, you could always hit your left or right arrow keys, in which will then tell you what option you're on. So I'm going to hit my left arrow key for a moment.
New game.
And it tells me that the cursor is currently on new game. So I'm going to scroll down one.
Options.
That's the options. Scroll down again.
Load game.
Load game. Scroll down again.
Save game.
Scroll down again.
Read this.
And by the way, read this is only shown in Doom 1. You don't have to worry about that option. In Doom 2, that option obviously is out the window. It doesn't exist in Doom 2. But in Doom 1, this option's there, and what it is just really a help screen that it leads you to, but it's not really useful in this situation. But figured to include it anyway. And then lastly,
Quit game.
So, those are all the options right there. So we're going to first go with the new game option.
New game.
And we're going to go into it.
New game selected.
And now we have the episode selection menu, which only exists in Doom 1/Ultimate Doom. So, by default, it will go to Knee Deep in the Dead, but as mentioned before, if you're not sure what the cursor is on, you can always hit your left or right arrow keys. So we're going to hit the left key.
Knee deep in the dead.
And then I'm going to scroll down one.
The shores of hell.
Scroll down again.
Inferno.
And scroll down one more time.
Thy flesh consumed.
And I do want to mention that John Romero's 5th episode, Sigil 2, is compatible with this accessibility menu. So, I'm going to go back to the first option here.
Knee deep in the dead.
I'm going to go into Knee Deep in the Dead here.
Knee deep in the dead.
And now we have the skill menu. So, by default, Doom selects the medium difficulty, or Hurt Me Plenty. And, of course, once again, if you're not sure what the cursor is on, you could always hit your left or right arrow key, so you'll hear this.
Hurt me plenty.
So we're going to scroll up.
Hey, not too rough.
Which is the basic easy.
I'm too young to die.
And I scrolled up again, and then we have the extra easy. So, I'm going to start from the top here, and then move our way down to the very difficulty. So, we're on...
I'm too young to die.
Then...
Hey, not too rough.
Then...
Hurt me plenty.
Then...
Ultra violence.
And lastly...
Nightmare.
As you probably would imagine, folks, that I had a lot of fun doing the voiceovers for this. Seriously, I had a lot of fun doing this. So I'm just going to backtrack to the main menu.
Back.
Alright, and then we're going to go to the options.
Options Options selected.
So with the options, Proydoha was able to simplify them, so you only have two options to select from. Sound options and GZ Doom options. And right now we are on
Sound options.
and that's the first thing that will be selected. Now the sound options are there just so you could go right to where you need to, and because if there's anything that you really need to modify for the accessibility mod, it would have to be the sounds. And we're going to go into the sound menu. So we're going to go up to the first thing listed.
Master volume.
Now master volume is a slider, which of course you can get to choose how loud or how quiet you want it to be. But of course, in addition to the slider, it does have audio feedback with that as well. So I'm going to hit my left arrow just to lower the number. Right now it's on 1.0.
0.95.
And it will tell you what sound level you're on, the amount.
0.9. 0.85.
And I'll just bring it back up to 1.
0.1.
Okay, and then I'll scroll down.
Sounds volume.
That's usually going to be the one that you may want to work with, because that will make it louder or not as loud, as you can adjust it accordingly. By default, I have in the pre-configured GZ Doom 4.7.1, it's at about 0.7 or 70% volume. And then, of course, beneath that is
Music volume.
And of course, beneath that,
Menu volume.
And then beneath that,
MIDI device.
Now by default, I think it's on Fluid Synth. So you'll have any MIDIs that are playing, which is the default Doom music. And of course, you get to choose whether you just want it regular MIDI, or there is actually an option to give it a more retro style sound to it. Forgot which it is, but I would just leave everything as it is. And then we have
Underwater reverb.
And here's the cool thing too. With this is an on-off selection, so
Off. On.
So you're able to do that, and also
Randomized pitches.
randomized pitches. Of course, with that, it's really up to you if you want that. I keep it off.
On. Off. 256.
Now this one I don't have labeled because it's not really that important, but what is the sound channels? But it's set to 256. So with that means it'll allow you to hear more sounds, essentially. And then there are two other options, but they're not important.
Master volume.
But it's really master volume through randomized pitches. Those are the only ones that are really important. But in the future, I might actually do the voiceovers for those last three options. Anyway, back to here.
1. GZ Doom options.
Now GZ Doom options, when you select that, it'll give you the default options to set up, like controls and graphics and all that, but you don't have to go into that. It's not necessary because I have everything pre-configured in the special GZ Doom 4.7.1, so it's not necessary at this time. But in the future, I am going to be doing the voiceovers for it.
Back.
So, one final thing, folks. When you quit the game, it also gives you feedback.
Are you sure you want to quit the game? Press Y for yes. Press N for no.
And of course, you can hit Y to exit, or no to go back to the main menu, or to go back to the game, really. So, just wanted to show that. Well, folks, that is it for the video. I hope all of you enjoyed this little presentation of the accessible menu. Honestly, I had a lot of fun doing the voiceovers for it. Seriously, it was very enjoyable. And I would like to, once again, thank Proydoha for doing such a phenomenal job with this. Honestly, Jarewill and I have been trying to figure out how to do this for a long time, and Proydoha's contribution was simply a blessing. Really, this really helped significantly. And of course, want to give a thank you to IllegallySighted, aka Jesse, for being such an awesome dude and just doing these little playthroughs of the accessibility mod, especially with the map pack. And every time I do watch them, I do take a whole bunch of notes just to see where I could improve and tweak and all that. So thank you, Jesse, for really helping shape this project into what it is. And of course, last but not least, I want to just thank again Mr. Toby Ott and DanceGeo8 for really being the spark that got this project in motion. So, if all of you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button for more Doom-related content. And as you know how my outros go, if you're watching this during the day, I wish all of you a good day. If you're watching this during the evening, I wish all of you a good evening. I thank all of you so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. Take care.